Good evening.
Very good evening.
Thank you so much for granting the opportunity of an interview. I'm from BNI Victory, and we are a group of 42 entrepreneurs, uh, probably trying to scale up and looking for inspiration. And we have heard a lot about you, and that is why we are here. For your information, we are meeting here Mr. Angelo Rajesh Athair is the founder, chairman, and managing director of St. Angelo's Professional Education. And this institution has got about 11 branches in Mumbai, and there are about 10,000 students. It is even twinning courses where they have courses running with New Zealand, Australia, and several other countries, and they have tie-up with universities throughout India. Now, back to Mr. Agnello. Now, BNI Victory has got, as I told you, about 42 entrepreneurs who are looking for inspiration. And we would like to know from you how you began. How did the inspiration come?
Well, the inspiration was always that never get bound into situations, don't get into the employee format. Always try to think like an employer, try to become an entrepreneur, because wealth creation can happen only through that. And wealth creation does not necessarily mean only making money, but it also means creating opportunities for others.
Right.
I myself have been an ex-BNI member, and I understand the value of BNI. It is something which is mandatory for every entrepreneur to get into the BNI process. It really shapes you well as an entrepreneur and develops an attitude of giving to the others. And only when you give do you get, and when you get it in multifold. So I was always inspired to be an entrepreneur, and I'm very happy that I chose that route. And inspiring entrepreneurs is something which every entrepreneur should do, and I too do my bit.
Excellent. I see that there is a lot of passion about being an entrepreneur, because I recently read that you had addressed a group of students about this, and we had a talk about it also. So you are inspiring students to become entrepreneurs. There is a lot of passion about it. So what is it that builds that passion within you?
The joy of giving, and we need to understand one fact: business is nothing but making people's life easy. And how can you do that? You can do that by becoming an entrepreneur. If you can do that, you touch so many lives. Like, for example, I'm into multiple businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but the activity which is very close to my heart is education. It's more of a passion than a business. And at the end of the day, when you fall back on bed, you feel so satisfied that you have really touched so many lives.
Absolutely.
And we are into an activity where it's skill-based education.
Yes.
So we can make the student immediately productive. It's knowledge which makes them productive globally. So that really satisfies you well. So these things keep inspiring me. Any part of the world that I travel to, absolutely to unknown corners of the world, and I've bumped into a student of mine. And that feeling when you come across a student whose life has been touched because of your sincere efforts,
Absolutely.
it cannot be valued in terms of even dollars, even if it is rising so quickly
Yes.
these days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about passion, we talk about building lives, you talked about making life easy for others. But how about your own life? Because lots of students come up with this question that, okay, I become a business person, but then people at home are not happy. Their life is not easy because I'm taking a risk. So if you want to build a business, if you want to scale up, what are the considerations that you must take so that you don't put people who are depending on you into that kind of a non-comfort zone?
It's a mind game. Basically, our culture in India, the culture is not of entrepreneurship development.
Yeah.
In India, it's more of a culture of getting a government job, getting a secured job. Even people get married comfortably if they have got a fixed source of revenue.
Right.
So people, parents of daughters, they don't want their daughters to get married to people who have got uncertain revenues.
Right.
It's a wrong mindset. I think as entrepreneurs, an entrepreneur is also a teacher in the society. He needs to teach the right aspects about entrepreneurship to the people around him, so that he inspires other parents to develop their children as entrepreneurs. I know one thing for sure, that no individual, no family, no society, no country can ever develop unless and until they don't have a large percentage of their population as entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Every successful country in the world has a very large percentage of their population who are entrepreneurs, and that's how they have created wealth not only for themselves, it ultimately adds up to the total GDP of the nation.
Absolutely.
So India has a long way to go. Our parents in this country need to be counseled. They need to be brought into organizations and shown how much it can help a child's future to transform not only that one individual's life, but one successful individual can change the lifestyle of his family, of the society, of his village, of everything.
Absolutely.
So I think entrepreneurship is something wherein people at large need to be educated about how easy it is to be an entrepreneur. It's just that one positive thought that needs to be there, which might motivate a family to encourage their children to get into entrepreneurship. Let them back up us as parents and tell the children that you take the risk. If you fail, we are still there to protect you. You will still have a shelter over your head and you will still get 3 times meals in a day. That as parents we can assure you. And that is the kind of assurance I got from my parents.
The moral support.
So that
itself
moral
is a big
support
thing.
is absolutely
It's a
required.
great thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Also, probably somewhere the mindset that, okay, what is actually risk? When you started this organization, probably there would have been a lot of unknown factors. They all appear as risk, but unknown territory could also be an opportunity. So how do you make youngsters understand that?
In business, there is no risk. People say there is risk. Business is all about risk. More the risk, better the profits. Higher the risk, bigger the business. Nothing of that sort. It's all a calculated move. You need to be calculating what you're doing. In a job, you're secure because if there is a loss due to your activity, your boss bears the brunt and not you. The only difference is if you commit a mistake, then you face the brunt and you need to consider it as tuition fees. So if you make a mistake once, you'll not make the same mistake again. It is, you need to be, see, life is a game. Business is a very interesting game. Every game has got its own rules. In a football, you can't pick the ball, you need to kick the ball. In a handball, you can't kick the ball, you need to pick the ball. So every game has rules. Business also has its rules. If you follow those rules, there is absolutely no risk. Business is the only format where your efforts are directly proportionate with your returns. You need to associate with the right people, you need to have the right business plan in place, you need to do the right planning, you need to put in the best efforts, and you see magic happening.
Excellent. So you would say that there's no risk,
Absolutely
provided
no.
you approach with the right mindset.
Provided you study the opportunity well.
Well, absolutely. And you know your strengths and weaknesses.
100%. Introspection is one of the first things that any entrepreneur should do. Any entrepreneur is not a master of everything that needs to be done in a business. So he needs to do his own SWOT analysis. If he does his own SWOT analysis, he knows his strengths.
Yeah.
So capitalize on that. And he knows his weakness. So make sure you cover it well.
Yeah,
And how do you cover your
resources.
weakness? How do you cover your weakness? By aligning and by associating with people whose strengths
Yeah,
cover
they
your
complement
weaknesses.
yours.
So these are collaborating days. There is no competition anymore.
Right.
You are going to work in a very collaborative environment. You just need to get associated with the right people, and the right people is as important as you getting married.
Absolutely.
You get married to a wrong person, your life is messed up. Similar in business. You get associated with the wrong people and your business is messed up. So it's all a matter of choice. You need to be choosing the right thing, right time, and quickly. It's all about how fast you make decisions.
And probably when you talk about taking decision fast and making the right decisions, there is a dichotomy there. You say that, okay, I have to take a quick decision and also I have to make the right decision. So there comes the dilemma. What is the right decision? There is no guidance. So when you think of a leader, when you think of a business leader, what are the best or the 3 best traits that the leader should have so that he's able to take that decision and take his organization forward and contribute value to the society, as you said?
One of the foremost qualities is building the right character. Like in BNI, you talk about the VCP model, the visibility, credibility, profitability model.
Okay.
I say that the true character of an individual will always be understood on a transaction happening. Unless and until the transaction doesn't happen, you don't know the true character of that individual. So the leader or the business leader needs to have a character where people can bank on him, people can promote him, people can align with him. So character is most important. You need to keep your confidence in place, you need to keep your commitments in place. Secondly, he should be raring to go. Like I said, there is no risk in business. You need to do a proper planning in advance, you need to study it well. If you do that, you're fantastic. So you need to be research based, you need to be alert, because in any business, your best teacher is your fellow mates in the similar business, whom once upon a time we used to call them as competitors. Okay, so they are your best teachers. They know where they will teach you what you need to improve.
Right.
So you need to be an extraordinary research analyst on your business model. You need to know what's happening now, and you need to also have a very, very strong vision that how will you take your organization forward, and you should be having the ability to read and to see the unseen. And that is what I mean by vision, seeing beyond where your eyes can reach. So you need to understand the business that I am doing today, where will it be 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line.
Will it be even relevant?
Will it be even relevant? So you need to be up with times,
Yeah.
and you should always plan a business which will go down generations. So it's not only limited to you. I will also recommend one more aspect is every entrepreneur should make a study before he launches his business or amend his business in a way where the profits is not only operating profits, but where the entrepreneur is more involved in value generation. The value of an enterprise is your real profits of life. So tomorrow your enterprise should be valued at 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores, 10,000 crores, and that should pass on as a legacy to your next generation so that they can further take it forward.
Right.
So I think these are the points that an entrepreneur, so you can say the character of an entrepreneur is important.
Yeah.
His planning and strategizing is very, very important. His research is very, very important.
Right.
And the third aspect is he should have the right vision.
Very well said. Now, we were all going through recession. Now, did you see any recession happening in education?
See, recession again is a mindset. If you ask the right question to the wrong man, you get a wrong answer. If you ask the wrong question to the right man, again you get a wrong answer. Recession is something that we talk about as an excuse.
Okay.
There is a slowdown in the rest of the world, but India is a world in a country. So even if you cater to the people
Yeah.
that are there within the country, you won't feel the heat. That is one. Secondly, recession is the best time of growth.
So it's the
Everybody is grounded, everybody is humble, everybody needs you.
yes.
When there is no recession, your value is zero because there are 1,000 people like you doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in a recession, people look out for people who can satisfy their needs.
Right.
So recession is a godsend opportunity. There is a turn. So in this turn, all the people who are not doing well get an opportunity to get going.
Going. Okay.
So get stronger in recession, expand, grow. The best decisions of my institution, my organization and my business have always happened when people talk about recession.
Okay.
So these words, I don't pray for them, but I like these words.
Excellent. So, when the whole world sees it at recession, you are able to see that this is the time when you can prove yourself. This is the time when you can say to the world that we have a sustainable business, something that you can rely on, trustworthy, and you see to it that you are visible to them so that people come to you. And for budding entrepreneurs and people who are scaling up their business, what advice would you give about the culture of the organization, how we can impact the results?
Any entrepreneur who wants to do business today has to be a social entrepreneur. He needs to be connected with the hearts of the society. If he is doing business only to make money, he will perish. What I say by perish is he will not wind up his business, but he might not grow, and that is as good as perishing. If you are a social entrepreneur, if you are in the society where you have earned money, but you are also plowing it back into the society, the people will back you up. We need to earn money, no doubt about that, but we need to earn more hearts.
Yes.
And if that happens, you are a successful entrepreneur. This is an era of social entrepreneurship. India has seen 3 phases of entrepreneurship. When India got independent, they saw an entrepreneurship which was the right of the might. Jiski lathi usi ki bhais. People made money on the strength of their muscle power. Then came the period where intelligent people made a lot of money, and that is where the IT boom took place in India.
Right.
Now is an era for the next 100 years where there will be social entrepreneurship that will develop in this country. Social entrepreneurship is nothing but doing business with a sharp mind which is absolutely well connected to your heart. So you think with your mind, take decisions with your heart, serve the society and still make money. Making profits is not a crime. Abnormal profits is definitely a crime. So when you make normal profits, you still grow, you distribute your additional profits to the people and they throng to you. You will never face a recession, you will never be alone, and the whole society will back you up. You don't need anybody else if you have got your customers backing you up.
Absolutely. So, understanding the pulse of the people, that is very, very crucial for your success.
Absolutely.
If you talk about understanding the pulse of the people and going playing to the gallery or doing things which are suitable for the mindset of the people, changing according to the times. Also, we see that there is a lot of unethical demands that are made on businesses. So, how do entrepreneurs face this? What has been your experience?
Well, you need to go by the rule book. See, it's very difficult to be the richest man on planet Earth, but it's very easy to be the happiest businessman on planet Earth. You try to be the happiest person. Never try to do any hanky-panky in your business. There are some inevitables which need to be done to a very particular extent, not to go beyond it, because people might not know what you're doing, but at least every day you know what you're being doing. So you need to be as ethical as possible. People who are ethical, people who stick by their principles will always be winners at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I can only say one thing, that when the entrepreneur will take his last breath, we don't know how much money he would be having in his bank account. But the entrepreneur should have served through his business and through his actions to an extent where the area in which he lives should definitely have a traffic jam, and that's his wealth. That's the people that he has earned through his actions of doing business.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the richest man concept. I believe in the happiest man concept.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now that we talked about ethics and unethical practices and how one's character should be strong enough to withstand that, do you like to go back on your journey and think of any incident or any decision that you've taken where you have made a mistake and then you feel, okay, I've learned from this. Now this is what I will tell the future entrepreneurs not to do. Is there anything like that you would like to share with us?
Well, every business teaches you some things, and what I learned from my business is I'm in the services domain. Like all of our entrepreneurs who are watching this video probably are either into services or into products.
Absolutely.
I would like to share one experience which has been bitter for me, which I'm sure others should not face the same things, that we grew because of franchising. In fact, once upon a time I was an authority on franchisor-franchisee relationships.
Okay.
And I have realized that when you are in services business, never ever franchise, because services can never be franchised. And if you are in a product business, you should always franchise. You cannot grow without franchising, because in a product business, you manufacture the product, so you have control over the quality and the ultimate delivery of the product.
Right.
Whereas under the services sector, your franchisees will always try to cut corners.
Right.
Franchising is a business like giving your daughter away in marriage. You really need to understand where she is going.
Yes.
So this is my very strong advice of my hardcore 20 years on the field experience, that services never franchise. Grow it as much as possible, but under your own control. And products, always franchise. Grow wherever you can reach in the shortest possible time.
That's because you can be true to your whatever commitment.
Ultimately,
Right.
it's all about customer service and customer satisfaction.
Right.
In services, if you franchise and if your customer is not satisfied,
Absolutely.
then what
Your
is getting
name and
spoiled
images.
is your reputation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. BNI Victory thanks you. Signing.
The pleasure is all mine, and I'm sure, as the name suggests, BNI Victory, I'm sure all victorious entrepreneurs, 42 in numbers as on date, which I'm sure will swell, will grow, will be victorious in whatever businesses they are doing. I wish them all the I wish them all the best, and may the Lord Almighty bless them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Come to BNI Victory, and again probably there also we'll get different insights.
It will be a pleasure, and I'll always be a part of any activity that can encourage, motivate, and support the growth of one entrepreneur or n number of entrepreneurs. I'm always there.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.